Welcome back to the Beard Bros React segment. Hope you guys enjoyed last week's segment about the sperm whales. If you did like this video, you're going to like this video. We're actually reacting to another TED Talk YouTube video. Shout out TED channel. It's called What's Normal Anxiety Dash and What's an Anxiety Disorder. Body stuff with Dr. Jen Gunter. So shout out Jen. We're gonna see what you're about. See, how this all kind of works out. Whatever. So like the video and subscribe.
In a culture that doesn't take mental health issues seriously, there's a lot of stigma. Some people tell you to just suck it up or get it together or to stop worrying or that it's all in your head. But I'm here to tell you that anxiety disorders, they're as real as diabetes.
Hold on. So I'm gonna be the first to say something. I am the guy that says you stop fucking worrying about it and stop worrying. I'm just a believer that we actually create our own anxiety and worry. Like there's real take this for example, and then we'll restart the thing. Think of something last week that was bothering you. If you can even remember something that had bothered you, and how much is it important this week?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so.
Body stuff.
Hi again, it's Dr. Jen, and I've noticed something with my patients. They often describe to me some classic symptoms of an anxiety disorder. Constant worry, trouble sleeping, tense muscles, and struggle with concentrating. But they aren't getting treatment. There's a lot of...
But like you said, it sounds like it's self-endured. Sleeping, there's sleep meds. You can just, there's stuff that could help you prevent those actions. Like stressing yourself out is like a you thing more than anything. Like you're
True.
You can prevent that by
because my theory on stress and stuff is the only reason anything has any weight on you is because you give it the weight it has.
It's like somebody's trying to fight you, but you just walk away. That's like you just like
you're cool with it.
Whatever,
but
man.
Then if you deal with it, now you're mad. You probably hurt yourself, or you hurt somebody, or whatever. And I'm not saying walk away from every fight. I'm just saying there are, and I'm not even a big believer in medication. That to me, I think people lean too much on that where they take medication for everything. They'll take medication for, like she mentioned, diabetes or sleeping or headaches. Like people that have headaches, say, well, I'll take Tylenol. And then they take a Tylenol and it's like, I don't know the real milligrams, but let's say you take like a 400 milligram. Okay?
Yeah, like 400.
Okay, so you take one. And then you're like, that doesn't work. I'm going to take two. So now you're 800. And now you're like, you know what? Those don't work. I need something stronger. Well, ibuprofen, 1200, whatever. I'm making shit up. Then you take one of those. And then you're taking two of those. Yeah. What you're building, which is what they consider an addiction of opioids, is a tolerance for medication. So when you're supposed to use it in moderation. So you're supposed to take one to relieve it. But once you start taking them too often, you're not getting the effect of what the medication is supposed to do.
That's true, because when I sprained my wrist at work, they gave me 800s, and then I would get headaches and use like 200 milligram like aspirin. Wouldn't work. It was like...
That's what I'm saying is once you are too self-reliant on something, you're thinking, oh, I need more.
Yeah.
But that's what an addict says is, I need more. So they go and get more, and then they need more after that.
Maybe that's like the pharmaceutical way of like winning. Like to.
Oh, yeah. It's all a business.
It's all a scheme.
So, anyways, we got way sidetracked, but nonetheless, yes, there's a way to deal with things.
Issues with mental health care in this country. Some people don't have insurance that will cover it. Some have been dismissed or minimized in the past and don't think seeking help will do any good. Some worry about the stigma and whether it could affect future jobs or relationships. But severe anxiety isn't a moral or personal failing. It's a health problem, just like strep throat or diabetes. It needs to be treated with the same kind of seriousness. Before we can talk about anxiety disorders, let's talk about anxiety itself. Anxiety is the very real and normal emotion we feel in a stressful situation. It's related to fear, but while fear is a response to an immediate threat that quickly subsides, anxiety is a response to more uncertain threats that tends to last much longer.
So she just kind of, and I want to see where she's going with this to really make my point valid.
Yeah.
But she just made the point that these
Threats.
anxieties are threats that we're even unsure of. They're like, they're not real. Like if someone comes up to you and pulls a gun out, or maybe that's extreme, but
No,
let's just
that's
say it's
good.
confrontational.
Yeah.
That's an immediate threat. So there's a built of fear or whatever it is that's going to be there. But anxiety isn't one of those direct threats, which she pointed out. It's something that we think it's something to worry about, but we're not even sure if there's something to really worry about.
Yeah, it's like it's not an unconscious thought; it's a conscious thought of anxiety. Like you don't unconsciously have like a thought of anxiety; you're overthinking it, and then
That's pretty much what I think anxiety is people that overthink.
it's an overthinker.
But I
That's
also
what it
think
seems
if
like.
you're feeding yourself negative thoughts all the time, then you're going to constantly think negative things. Like if you're thinking, well, how am I going to pay this month's rent? I don't have the money. You're worrying about it, which it's going to be something, but you're going to get it, but it might be a week late. Well, there's nothing you can do. It's going to be a week late, regardless if you worry or don't worry. Okay?
Yeah.
But the thing is if you just thought of it the reverse way, like, I can't pay for it now, but I can pay for it later. If maybe I call the bank and tell them, hey, I'm going to be a little late, they might be understanding, which then I can be relieved and not have to worry that I'm going to be a week late, but there's no penalty potentially. Right?
Yeah.
But people feed themselves so many negative things, so you think negatively. If you try to think positively, you're going to think positively all the time. She's right when it takes practice.
Yeah.
Like, it's a practice.
I
So-
hear you. I understand that.
It's all part of the threat detection system, which all animals have to some degree to help protect us from predators. Anxiety starts in the brain's amygdala, a pair of almond-sized nerve vitals that
Amygdala.
alert other areas of the brain to be ready for defensive action. Next, the hypothalamus relays the signal, setting off what we call the stress response in our body. Our muscles tense, our breathing and heart rate increase, and our blood pressure rises. Areas in the brainstem kick in and put you in a state of high alertness. This
How many motherfuckers do you think look like that? Not hypothetically, like legitimately act that way.
Not like that. Not like how that face was. I don't think they act.
Well, I feel like, yeah, not necessarily the look of the actual thing. I'm
Oh.
thinking more like how many people actually
Have those
respond in that way. I'm sure there's a lot.
I was gonna say there's probably a high doses of people that probably.
But is that do you see that, and I don't know if you deal with anxiety or not, but do you see that as being an appropriate way with dealing with
An
a
issue?
stressful thing?
No, hell no.
Like, you think that what you're doing there is helping any?
Like if your heart rate and your bones and everything's aching,
Muscles tensing, heart rates
You're fucking-
escalating, you're biting your nails almost.
it's like I don't do the nail biting. That's nasty as fuck. But that's another conversation.
I'm just curious. Do any of y'all, if y'all do, just comment. I'm not dissing you. I'm curious because I am learning. I'm just trying to help you because I don't deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm too
I don't think I do.
positive that I see things
Maybe.
other ways. Like, I'm just like, yo, that might seem bad, but there's ways. Like, I wonder how many people that deal with anxiety really know how to how can I put this? Like, are good problem solvers.
Oh damn.
Like, problem solving doesn't mean always on the fly, but it kind of does at the same time. Because when something hits you, like if, I don't know, like if somebody were to break in the house right now, like, what's my first reaction? It's like, I want to know who it is, so I'm going to yell as I pursue my, like, whatever weapon of choice.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So there's like a game plan with a smart approach at the same time of like, who's here? Maybe I don't need to be as...
Aggressive.
Yes, exactly. But then if they don't respond as I'm approaching my choice of weapon, then at that point I'm getting information. I'm processing information to know how to actually react to the next part of the situation. See what I'm saying?
And if y'all are in the comments saying, y'all, that's an extreme situation, she just literally put anxiety next to diabetes and I think she said strep throat. It's like strep throat's not that
Strep
serious.
throat, but diabetes.
Yeah,
is
it's like
thing
that's an extreme measure. Like it's an extreme measure at you're comparing it. So we're gonna compare it as extreme as they're
yeah,
gonna
I
extreme
want to
it.
be at the worst. Like, yeah, it's not always going to be that strenuous, but I'm just saying problem solving. Who's good at problem solving when it's there's sort of a big deal?
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No.
Okay. So,
Is the fight or flight response. There are ways the fight or flight response is kept somewhat in check with an area of higher level thinking called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. It works like this. If a person sees something they think is dangerous, like a tiger, that sends a signal to the amygdala saying it's time to run. The ventromedial prefrontal cortex can say to the amygdala, hey look, the tiger's in a cage. You know what a cage is. They can't escape from a cage. It's okay to calm down. It's a feedback loop that can help keep the response in check. The hippocampus is also involved. It provides context, saying things like, hey, we've seen tigers in cages before. We're in a zoo. You are extra safe. With anxiety, these threat detection systems and mechanisms that reduce or inhibit them are functioning incorrectly and cause us to worry about the future and our safety in it. But for many people, it goes into overdrive. They experience persistent, pervasive anxiety that disrupts work, school, and relationships and leads them to avoid situations that may trigger symptoms. Anxiety disorders are not at all uncommon. Based on data from the World Mental Health Survey, researchers estimate that about 16% of individuals currently have or have had an anxiety disorder.
So out of 100 people, 16 people, according to this statistic, have some type of social anxiety disorder or anxiety disorder.
I'm barely like kind of finding out what anxiety really is. I didn't even know if it was. I didn't know it was an emotion. It's more. I thought it was more of an action than an emotion. But
Anxiety is, like she mentioned, all these different, and it doesn't have to be all of them at once. Sometimes it's one.
I don't think I have anxiety because I never felt none of that shit in my life.
It's just like she took that tiger for instance, like that example. Like, are people really that extreme? Like, if someone were to break up with you, are you just torn into pieces because your heart's been broken?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Some
It's
people
like,
get that way.
yeah, it's like they're crying, they're sad for weeks. It's like it's never ending. You keep telling me the same stories over and over, and it's still not doing us any good. You got to learn how to move forward. Again, problem solving. How many times have we all been broken up with? And yeah, it hurts a little, but you're still okay.
Yeah.
You've actually moved on and gotten probably multiple more relationships since your first relationship.
Yeah, if you really think about it, like being upset about a breakup is kind of iffy. It's like after a few months, you're not gonna feel that real.
No, you're probably even gonna start talking kind of shit about people, saying, "Oh, that nigga has a little dick," or "That bitch's pussy stunk," or this or that. You know what I mean? Like, you start even thinking, "Why was I dating that person? That person is actually ugly. I don't know what I was like."
Yeah,
you see what I'm going with
it
this?
happens like that. I mean, I'm not like that. I don't.
No, I'm not like that. I wish all my exes the
I
best.
wish them the best, but it's like not with me. That's how I
Yeah,
feel. Not with me.
Hope
It's-
you find what
hey,
you're looking
hope-
for, but it ain't in
It
me.
ain't me, motherfuckers.
Exactly. So that's just another example. I'm trying to throw more examples like
Yeah.
as I go along with this.
If you
review.
become that person that like welcomes like your exes to do good, then you become that person where it's like.
But again,
it's like,
it's positivity.
yeah, you just become that person where nothing really phases you. You're like,
People are like, "Oh, karma." Why would you wish something bad on somebody?
Yeah.
That's not true maturity, and it's not one way to deal. I mean, if that's your outlet of dealing with anxiety, cool. Do whatever it takes, I guess. But I just think there's alternatives to being anxiety, stress, worry free.
Yeah.
Like, don't think that there's only one way. Like, I get the self-love thing. You all should love yourself, but don't do it in a selfish way.
Yeah.
There's differences. Just learn the differences. Let's carry it along.
Come
I like
on.
this, Dr. Jen Gunter.
Social anxiety disorder, panic disorder, agoraphobia, and phobias. Studies have shown that people with anxiety disorders don't just have a different way of reacting to stress. There may be actual differences in how their brain is working. One model describes possible mix-ups in the connections between the amygdala and other parts of the brain. The pathways that signal anxiety become stronger, and the more anxiety you have, the stronger the pathways become, and it becomes a vicious cycle. The good news is that there's treatment for anxiety and that you don't have to suffer. Remember, this isn't about weakness, it's about changing brain patterns. And research shows that our brains have the ability to reorganize and form new connections all throughout our lives. A good first step is to do the basics. Eat a balanced diet, exercise regularly, and get plenty of sleep, as your mind is part of your body. It might also help to try meditation. Instead of our heart rate rising and our body tensing, with mindfulness and breathing, we can slow down the fight or flight response and improve how we feel in the moment.
You see how simple the solutions were to the actual problem, like meditation, like.
But notice how she didn't mention medication.
There wasn't no. It was like that's crazy to think. But if you really think about this is off the topic. Well, it's still a topic, but it's like if you could train, like say I'm overweight. Say I'm overweight, I go to the gym, I can become fit.
Yeah.
Why can't there be I guess meditation would be the process to train your brain to be more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if you wake up thinking positive and you go about it's a practice. Am I saying every day I wake up I'm like jolly go lucky kind of guy?
Yeah, I feel you. I understand
there's
what you're
days
saying.
I'm dragging my ass. It's like, fuck man, today sucks. Like,
but this is like the moment sucks, not like your
exactly.
day sucks. You just gotta get over it and walk it off and just go for it. Like when you hurt yourself, just walk it off. You know what I mean? That's basically
But the way you put it is, if you start going to the gym, because let's just say, like I'm overweight, I start going to the gym. I'm not going to get fit in one day, am I?
Hell no.
I ain't getting fit in 1 week. I might feel better about myself after a week. But if I do it for, let's say, 6 months. After 6 months, I'm probably lost some good weight, put on some good muscle.
Yeah.
I might even thin out a little bit, okay? But it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
Just like the way you think is a practice. You got to practice being positive.
Because strong minds could do a lot of crazy things in this world.
The mind is very powerful.
It's fucking powerful.
And that's probably something you should take as
Probably
take it how you want. I would just say, as somebody that cares about all the viewers and everybody in general, take this as some bit of advice. Think of the way she put those things. Be mindful, use meditation, breathe.
Yeah.
Those things matter, man.
Because if you want strong lungs, you're not smoking cigarettes and doing stupid vaping and shit like that. So if you want your mind to be strong, you're not thinking negative.
Exactly. You read a book.
Yeah. Even if it's
watch a fucking TED video.
Like even if it's like an article, not even a full book, like just get into something. Like
read something.
TMZ is probably the best thing I could think of because it's
like for me, I'll read whatever. Like sometimes something will come up on like my news app.
Yeah, me
or
too.
something will come up about whatever.
I just read random
and
shit.
I'll read it. If I read the little bitty like notification headline, I'll say, oh, that's interesting. I'll click it. Yeah. Read a little bit. If I like it, I'll read more. But I take time to try to read something.
Something like, even if y'all like just TMZ, it's just regular like normal people but famous people at the same time doing stupid shit. I like
and it's not
shit.
even reading. Like I said, you can go to TED. Links in the description. Thank you, TED. They have thousands of videos about stuff like this. Like it's just, think about, we were talking about sperm whales, we're talking about anxiety this week. Like there's a lot of topics, man. This was one that just kind of popped up.
Yeah, that shit we didn't even click. It was meant to be, I think.
There you go. Let's keep it rolling though.
And behavioral therapy, a form of talk therapy, can also be fantastic. In it, you learn to identify upsetting thoughts and determine whether they're realistic. Over time, cognitive behavioral therapy can rebuild those neural pathways that tamp down the anxiety response.
That's the training process.
Can also give relief in both the short term and the long term. In the short term, anti-anxiety drugs can downregulate the threat detection mechanisms that are going into overdrive. Studies have shown that both long-term medications and cognitive behavioral therapy can reduce that overreactivity of the amygdala we see in anxiety disorders. High blood pressure pressure and diabetes, they can be treated or managed over time. And the same is true for an anxiety disorder too.
See, she even mentioned it over time. I'm not saying medication is bad, but as I stated earlier, just don't misuse it. I know people think, oh, well, all I do is take ibuprofen, but how many? How strong?
Yeah,
How often?
Yeah, how regularly do
Yeah,
you?
like I know people that take it on the regular. They're like, every day I got a headache. It's like, yeah, don't always, like, look at other parts of your life. Are you hydrated enough? Are you drinking too much caffeine? What are you putting in your body before you take the medication?
Yeah,
Like,
because if you just eat junk food and you're coming off your junk food high, it's gonna give you a fucking headache.
that or too much Cokes or coffee or you're
Yeah.
drinking energy drinks all the time. How much water do you consume?
Every high has a downfall. Like alcohol is a hangover. Meth. I don't know what they have, but
No, it's all part of the system.
Yeah. So caffeine is the same thing.
I'm just saying,
it's a downfall.
guys, those that deal with anxiety, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying the existence is all based off of you. You have control over it. Just that's what you got to do is grab the bull by its horn and control it.
Yeah.
Think more positive, meditate, be mindful, breathe, practice whatever it is that you need to practice in order to get better. I'm rooting for you guys. You guys need help. You guys want to talk to us? Hit us up, man. Hit us up. We're here to help if any and every way we can. So just let us know what we can do, if we could do anything, and we'll be there for you. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Anxiety disorder. I mean, I feel like I learned a lot more. I feel like I knew a little bit more than I thought I knew. But nonetheless, it's not what it's about. It's about reacting to something that...
That we would normally not really talk about. Like,
Yeah, like
I don't think I would ever really. I mean, yeah, maybe it comes up, but for the most part, it's like I don't deal with it really. I kind of just, like she said, people say suck it up. I just kind of suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we all are dealing with other stuff. We all are got our own problems, our own issues, whatever. But if you notice who's doing what and who's living in a chaotic life, come on, man. Let's narrow that percentage from 16 out of 100 to none. Let's
Yeah.
all deal with it, and there's people out there we can get through it together. Like I said, Beard Bros are here for you guys. Like the video.
Till the next reaction, baby.
Subscribe. Remember, 2 more videos this week because that's what we do. Free content. Can you like the video for free content?
I'm telling
That's all I'm
you.
asking. Like the damn video. It helps us.
That's facts.
Peace.
Laters.